What's going on, everybody? This is MDENT313 and I'm back at y'all with another one. Man, let me tell you, this Raising Kanan season 4 episode 10 was fire. Whoa, man, I did not expect to get everything we got in this episode. Man, where do I begin? Listen, this is a spoiler review. So if you have not seen the episode, tune off to this video right now. Once again, I'm going to say this again. This is a spoiler review. If you have not seen the episode, please get off right now. I'm going to give you 5 seconds, and then we're going to talk about it. All right, let's get into it, right? When we pick up, quite naturally, we pick up where we left off. But man, I want to talk about the conversation that was had between Juke and Rock. Very powerful conversation. You know, Jukebox talked about how, you know, she pretty much was unnoticed by everybody, but especially unnoticed by Rock. The only time she was ever noticed is when she was sitting right next to Kanan, and she pretty much told her, just because I, you know, don't say nothing, don't think that mean I don't notice what you do. You know, I'm not hearing what's going on. You know, because pretty much Rock is tired of Juke and Kanan questioning her about, you know, did she kill Crystal, right? In addition to that, you know, you can pretty much see Jukebox changing, Kanan changing. Jukebox, you know, Aisha showed back up, and her and Aisha, you know, they do their thing, you know, back at the crib, get into some hot, steamy action. You know, Aisha pretty much trying to get Jukebox back to Atlanta, you know, to go to school with her. But Jukebox let her know, listen, my father need me. I'm going to be here for him. You know, I'm sorry I can't go with you. But, you know, maybe we'll see what's going on in the future. So we pretty much move over from that to, you know, the meeting with Rock, Lou, and Unique. Unique pretty much let Lou know that he was smashing, you know, long story short, he was smashing Rock. Things of that nature, and Rock pretty much was telling him, listen, leave my son out of this. We don't need to involve each other family. But if you want to play that game, listen, we can play that game. Fast forward to, you know, Marvin trying to clear up things with Stefano. Stefano not trying to hear nothing Marvin talking about, because he wanted Marvin to tell him the truth from the get-go. Marvin didn't tell him the truth. So he pretty much told Marvin, listen, our business is done. I'm done with y'all. Tell your sister, y'all got to get some other trucks. Y'all got to figure out another way to move y'all product. Goes from that to something crazy. Stefano and Phil, they meet up in the park. Nobody know that these guys are pretty much working together, but just to see those two together was absolute crazy. They having a conversation about all the deals and the stuff that they doing, you know, that they shouldn't have been doing to each other, that make each other, you know, look bad to the other crew. But, you know, Stefano being the OG, let them know, listen, maybe I ought to let them know that it was you that orchestrated the hit on your own guy so you could have the top spot. You know, Phil didn't like that, but he played it off real smooth, like he was cool with it. Went to go hug Stefano to pretend like he was gonna squash the beef, and right in the stomach, just shanked him, got him on up out of there. Couldn't believe that, you know, he got rid of Stefano. So nobody knows that, right, as of, you know, going on later in the episode, nobody knows that Stefano has been, you know, sent to the upper room, if you will. You know, Marvin, and we fast forward to Marvin and Rock having a conversation. Rock is upset because everybody's blaming her. So she pretty much take her frustration out on Marvin, call him a screw up, a mess up. He don't know what he doing. He don't think for himself. He just don't know what he doing, right? He pretty much just the crash test dummy, long story short. And Marvin say, screw you, walk on up out of there, right? Fast forward, we get to Rock having a conversation with the guy who owns the Golden Pavilion restaurant, and he pretty much let her know that he don't want to do business with her, and he sent his family back to China. So if you want to, get rid of me, go right ahead, as long as you can't get to my family. But before, after that, he tell her about this demonic or this demon, from China. He's pretty much like a folklore, pretty much. And he talked about how he did all type of wrong, but what was most scary about him is that because he was faceless, he didn't realize how much wrong that he did. Man, just absolute crazy. But fast forward to the big reveal. We are introduced. Well, let me rephrase that. Kanan is walking down the street and Snaps and Pop pull up on him. Talk to him, say, yeah, we knew that you was pretty much around this way, but we want to talk to you. We want to introduce you to somebody. Introduce them to their nephew who's doing this thing on the east side of New York, right? He's supposed to be the man over there. Young, up and coming, don't appear to be that much older than Kanan, but it is revealed that their nephew is none other than the legendary Breeze himself. That's what I'm talking about. Man, that whole scene was absolute crazy, right? And as much as you think that was just crazy, the episode get even crazier, right? Fast forward to the Golden Pavilion. Unique and his crew burned down the Golden Pavilion, and they try to take out Marvin unsuccessfully, right? Oh, wait, before I get to that, Lou pull up on Pernessa and Jerome in the garage parking lot, kidnaps Pernessa and Jerome. Him and Virilla take them somewhere, but we don't know where they taking them. But, Lou pretty much did what Rock asked him to do, right? Next, we get to the Golden Pavilion getting burned down by Unique and his crew, right? Absolute crazy stuff. And they try to take out Marvin, but completely unsuccessful with taking out Marvin. Thank God, because Marvin is my guy, right? He got to be the coldest one on the show. I ain't gonna lie, Marvin, my dog. I'm glad they ain't get him on up out of there. But we get to the end, and Kanan pull up on Rock at her home, pretty much like ghosts. And the reason being is that cop that's been talking to Jew pulled up on Kanan and said that it was a woman seen leaving out of, the area. It was a black woman seen leaving out of the area of where Crystal was at. So pretty much, it really looked like Rock is the one that took out Crystal, to Kanan anyway. But Jukebox and everybody else trying to convince Kanan that it wasn't him. And then, man, it was just crazy. So Kanan his mom pull up on Rock at the house, got the blicky on her. It's crazy. Talking about, I know you was the one that did Famous, just like you did D-Wiz, because Rock trying to explain herself, why would I take out Famous, or why would I take out Crystal? And he said, because you don't want nobody to, you don't want nobody to have me. The same reason you took out my own father. Things of that nature. So we get to the end of the episode, and it's almost as if Rock accepting the fact that it's her time to go. She closed her eyes, the screen cut off, and all you hear is a couple shots ring out. So we don't actually know if Kanan took out Rock, but that appears to be so. And man, if he did, this will explain why Kanan is so ruthless. And listen, I forgot to mention the part where Jukebox was trying to talk some sense into Kanan, and Kanan pulled the blicky on Jukebox and said, if you ain't with me, then you against me. Woo! Kanan ain't holding him up. Kanan then turned into full Kanan Stark from Power. Not quite as intelligent, though I might add. It's probably going to take some time for him working with Breeze and working with Snaps and Pops to, you know, build that skill and that intelligence and the wit. Because right now he's still young, he's still impressionable, and you can still play him because he's gullible still. But he's ruthless nevertheless, right? And man, if he took out Rock like the end of the show implicated, man, season 5 is gonna be absolutely bananas. And I can't wait, man. Shout out to 50 Cent, shout out to Courtney Kemp, shout out to everybody who's been behind Raising Kanan. Raising Kanan, I would argue with you guys, is on par with the original Power. And sometimes I think it might be a little bit better than the original Power, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, MBENT313. As I continue to do these videos, I'm going to get better. I know I sound probably scatterbrained. It's still fresh on my mind. I've only watched it once, but I'm hype as hell, man. Phenomenal show, man. Phenomenal ending. This whole season was fire, but this ending was nuts. Woo! And I forgot to mention that Lou also told Kanan that it was Rock who took out his grandma. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Peace.